Here we have the current stock market analysis for NVIDIA Corporation, stock ticker NVDA. Before we begin with today's chart analysis, if you find these educational materials to be helpful in your trading, please remember to click the like and subscribe buttons and leave your thoughts below in the comments section so that other traders can find this information more easily on the platform. So here we're looking at the 4-hour price chart. Each candle on this price chart represents a 4-hour trading period. And what we can see here is that the share price for NVIDIA continues to trend lower. We're starting to run into some fairly important technical levels at the moment. Some important chart signals are on the verge of being triggered here. And we can start to see the establishment of what could be a false breakout to the top side. So in this video, we will be looking at some key price zones, some key support and resistance levels, so that hopefully traders can identify profitable trading strategies for this stock going forward. So as we can see here, the near-term low, the stock is really trading right at its lows at the moment, at least for the day. What we're seeing right now is a low of 116.94. And as this is occurring, we're starting to see the share price itself break through some very important exponential moving averages. So what we can see here is that the share price is now breaking through this yellow line, orange line, and purple line. So that would mean that we're breaking through the 20 period, 50 period, and 100 period exponential moving averages. These are significantly bearish signals. We do still have one more exponential moving average that rests a bit lower. That would be the 200 period EMA. But at the moment, we are definitely trading within the exponential moving average cluster. And, we're really starting to break some key support levels at the moment. So the real question here, and what this really calls into question at the moment, is whether or not this prior price break here at 127.66 was in fact a false breakout. If this was not a false breakout, this would be a very significant break of resistance, because as we can see here, the share price, this trend line goes all the way back to the stock's all-time highs, which came in at 140.76. That would be the June 20 price high. So we can see here that this is a very important downtrend line here. In many cases, downtrend lines are not very important. A trend line alone is maybe not so significant. But when you're looking at these longer term views like this, and these trend lines do occur at major historical support or resistance levels, they tend to take on a greater level of importance. So that is definitely the case here with this trend line, because what we're looking at is the major decline here from the stock's all-time highs to some fairly significant lows, which came in near $90 per share. So, this break above 127.66, this break into this area here was significant, because it starts to suggest that we're on the verge of seeing an end to this prior trend, and possibly the stock will be able to stop forming this series of lower highs. But when you start to see downward price movements like this, the balance of the evidence begins to point in the other direction, saying that this could in fact be a false breakout to the top side. If that is the case, we would need to simply adjust the trend line and then start to look at things like this. Normally, normally you don't want to do that too much. You don't really want to be playing around with the trend lines too much, because if you're needing to alter the view, it does sort of show that the original viewpoint was incorrect. So you don't want to make a lot of price movements like this. However, when you start to see these major failures here after this, after what is supposed to be a bullish breakout, it does call into question the validity of those prior price moves. So at the moment, this is starting to look like what could be happening here. In order to confirm that, how do we know that this is actually the case? How do we know that this is true? So what I like to do in these types of situations is to look at prior support zones. So specifically, what I would be looking at here would be 114.87, which is the price low from September 23rd. If we do start to see a break below here, then you've got several major support zones that are starting to break at the same time. So not only do you have these exponential moving averages that are starting to break, you've also got some Fibonacci levels in here that are starting to break. As you can see here, the current share price movement to the downside has also broken through this orange zone here. The line at this orange zone represents the 38.2% Fibonacci retracement of this entire trending move here. So this would essentially be the move from $100.95 to $27.66. So in the short-term basis, this is a very significant price move. And we're starting to already break through this 38.2% Fibonacci retracement in addition to all of these exponential moving averages. So the kind of last line in the sand here, in my view, is this 114.87 support zone. If we do start to see a break below there, you have to start to refer to this now, this 127.66 area, as a false breakout to the top side. So that's a significant price movement because this was starting to look as though we could be seeing a major turnaround here. But when you see these types of failures where they're breaking several layers of support in the process, you have to start to call those moves into question. We can't just simply take these moves for granted. They have to be confirmed by other aspects of the trading market. And when we start to see these downward declines here, it really does throw everything into question. I mean, what you should be seeing at this point would be a move in the upward direction, possibly even a retest of this prior resistance at 131.26. But we're not seeing that. I mean, at the moment, we're trading at 117. So, I'm not ready to call this a false breakout just yet. I would like to see what happens, right around the 115 level. I mean, that's sort of an important psychological zone. And then in addition to that, you do have this historical support region resting 13 cents below there. So all of this is significant here. If we're not able to see share prices make a bounce here, it would look something like this. If we're not able to see this happen, we have to start to view this 127.66 area as a false breakout to the downside. Overall, that wouldn't really turn my view into the negative direction. However, I understand that might seem confusing, but I wouldn't really turn negative on the stock until we see a break below roughly 111.30. Because that is where we find the 200 period exponential moving average and the 61.8% retracement of this upward trending move. So if we see a break below 114.87, my bias would be kind of a sideways consolidation type of price movement. However, if we see a break below 111.30, that also puts that 110 level into question. And then I think if we start to break below there, then I think the losses start to accelerate and we start to see a gain in momentum to the downside. So here's the current stock market analysis for NVIDIA Corporation, stock ticker NVDA. Our high value trading strategies membership is currently available for a limited time for only $9.99 per month. These high conviction investment strategies are characterized by superior risk to reward metrics that target massive market beating returns over time. Join now to outperform the market, lock in this special introductory rate of just $9.99 per month for the entire lifetime of your membership, and start trading stocks with the pros.